Alvin Lewis grew up in the East Side neighborhood of Detroit, known as the Black Bottom, as one of 15 children. He acquired the nickname Blue while playing kick the can in the neighborhood's back alleys. The children avoided using actual names and instead referred to each other by colors, thus Alvin came to be called Blue. As a teenager, Lewis became a member of the infamous Krakow Street Gang and was involved in more than 100 robberies. On October 17, 1960, Lewis, then 17 years old, assaulted a 78-year-old coal company owner named William P. Ward. Unfortunately, Ward passed away later in the hospital due to injuries to his head. Lewis was arrested and received a 20-year sentence for the unarmed robbery and a 35-year sentence for the murder. While serving his time, he took up boxing and eventually became the heavyweight champion of Jackson State Prison. In the midst of a prison riot, the 6'4" Lewis positioned himself at the center of the uprising, effectively quelling the disturbance and ensuring the safety of the head of corrections, Gus Harrison. This courageous act led to Lewis being granted his freedom. "You risked your life for me," Harrison said to Lewis, "so I'll give you your life back." Lewis immediately turned to boxing. He made it to the quarterfinals of the National Golden Gloves before turning pro in 1966. 2 years later, he met Muhammad Ali. "Ali did me a hell of a favor," Lewis said. "I had only 11 pro fights, but when he came to Detroit to fight some exhibitions, he gave me a chance. 3 rounds at $100 a round. I was fresh out of prison, and it gave me a name for myself. I said then that if they ever gave him his license back, I'd go any place to help him." Lewis won 13 straight fights before suffering a stoppage loss to trial horse Bob Stallings. 5 months later, he avenged his loss to Stallings with a decision victory. A knockout win over contender Eduardo Carletti propelled him into the top 10. However, in November of 1968, Lewis was stopped in 9 rounds by Leotis Martin, despite having floored his opponent in the opening round. Lewis was granted a rematch, but once again lost, this time by decision. By this time, Muhammad Ali was reinstated and embarking on his comeback. He once again called on Lewis for a favor, needing sparring partners for his upcoming match with Jerry Quarry. Lewis answered the call, but landed some heavy body shots on Ali, resulting in an injury that forced Ali to undergo x-rays on his ribs. As a result, Ali's trainer, Angelo Dundee, asked Lewis to leave the next day. In October of 1970, he scored his biggest victory in stopping veteran Cleveland Williams in 4 rounds. A year later, he lost by disqualification to Oscar Bonavena in Argentina. Bonavena claimed Lewis headbutted him, and the fight was stopped in the 7th round. Lewis and his manager, Steve Eisner, were stunned by the decision, claiming there was no but, and that the 1-inch gash over Bonavena's eye was caused by a punch from Lewis. "The only way I could have won in front of his hometown audience," Lewis said, "was to have knocked Bonavena down for a 50 count. But 9 months after the controversial loss, Lewis received his biggest opportunity, getting a match against Muhammad Ali at Croke Park in Dublin, Ireland.
Dublin. So we're wondering now whether this head cold that Muhammad Ali has been suffering, the Ali snuffle, is now going to be turned into the Ali shuffle. And we think that for the opening round, that Blue Lewis is really going to be a dangerous hitter. He once dented Muhammad Ali's ribs in training, and that was for real in Miami a couple of years ago, and got the sack for doing it. Now Lewis knows he has to get right on top of Ali, and he's a rough customer, and there's a lot of excitement in Lewis's corner to encourage him. I think that Ali's showing a bit of respect anyway for Lewis, because he's coming at him and Ali has to open up to try and stop him in his tracks. There must be just a slight fear in Ali's heart that this fellow can bang a bit. It's a very small ring, not more than about 16 feet, an amateur ring. So there's no place to hide, and that's for sure. It looks as though Lewis can reach him with that left hand as well there. Well, I think that's as many punches as I've seen Ali take in an opening round anyway, as we thought that the opening rounds are going to be the danger spots for Muhammad. There's no fooling around tonight. These punches are are really going at full strength. And that very weak bell at the end of the first round there on punches landed. Obviously, Ali stole that one on the 10 points must system. Jab. Ali teed off pretty good with the left hook there. And he looks as though he definitely has, if not respect, perhaps even a bit of fear that Lewis might come at him a bit dangerously, and he's trying to take him out quick. I think he's taken a couple of Lewis's best shots and figures, I've got to get in, but he's not getting it his own way at all. And this fellow can cave a few ribs in, but he's calling him on again. This is exactly what he did with Jerry Quarry. But whether he can break Lewis up as quickly as he did Quarry is another thing. What do you know about this? Lewis is entered into the act, and he's doing it. It's tit-for-tat stuff here. But it doesn't look as though it's had any effect yet on Lewis's legs. And he's willing to throw bombs if he gets the chance. I'm telling you, this one's for real. If you're as close up here as I am, you can absolutely see those punches sinking into Muhammad Ali's ribs, but he's tucking the elbows in fairly cleverly. And that really banged Lewis off balance. I don't know really whether he was hurt by that. He's certainly got uncertain legs, to say the least. But I wonder whether he just toppled him off balance or hurt him with that one. I wouldn't like to take it to try. I wouldn't quite go along with that. I understand that he's not a long-distance fighter. But Ali's hitting him with his good shots, and he's coming back. And I must say, I didn't hear the bell there either, but the fighters were very obedient about that as they were having that rather hectic exchange there at the end of the round. That's what the old-time fight chroniclers used to call a rather bumper affair. And a wild swing there from Lewis, caught Ali around the ribs, a little far back. Now that was the punch that he hurt him with in training 2 years ago. And that took just a little blow away from Ali, who was just skating that round until that one landed. And again, these right hands that are getting, why doesn't Lewis get out of that corner? Yes, he is as well. I hope that he heard me, because it really is ridiculous just to stand there and take them. What a right hand. That was the punch, I think, that Ali was looking for. He teed off with that right hand. He let the left hands go. He softened Al Blue Lewis up. We could almost read that the whole time. There was no question. And he's up at 9. Eskin has only got to 9. That seemed like 19 to me. And the round is over. Or is the fight over? No, the round's over. There's confusion here at the end of the 5th. We couldn't hear the bell, and referee Eskin is checking now with the Irish boxing officials if the bell in fact did sound. Eskin did not take the time, I don't think, from the timekeeper. He went on his own time, and it looked to me like more than 9 seconds. This really is a live 6th round now, and that's a question there where the bell did not save Al Lewis. It's the rarity these days. The referee counted to 9, the bell went, and he stopped the fight and let us start again in the 6th round. And that is exactly what we saw with Ali, softening up Lewis with that left hand and looking concerning. And that was the best right hand of that round. He caught Lewis flush with that. Half a minute in this round. And this loose bandage is exactly the same thing that happened in the Quarry fight. And Lewis is coming back now. He's teeing off and fighting back. Well, what do you know about this? And they're really screaming in Lewis's corner for their man to go after him. And it's all over in the sixth round. That's the end of the round. And, of course, the referee making sure that that bandage is pulled away. Very rarely in modern boxing. And there again, they're really breaking up. His legs are unhinging. The right hand, it was a bit high, that one, but now he's using the variety of punches. The left hooks are coming in and jabbing away to the stomach there. And all Lewis is trying to do now is that wing and a prayer stuff, hoping that he can just catch Ali as he comes in a little bit carelessly, perhaps. But no, he's tucking that chin down, protecting himself the whole time. This fella is a very super boxer. And this is a no-hit at this stage. No, they're back in again. And he keeps chopping that right hand down. That's what he called his karate blow. That was the punch that caught Sonny Liston up at Lewiston, Maine. That short overarm punch that shoots over the opponent's left hand. And it certainly must carry some weight. There it is again. He really is trying it for sides. It's as though he can hear me saying this. And Lewis really trapped in the corner there. And what a courageous man this Lewis is. He's taken Ali's best shots, and he really has let his best punches go here. No fooling around at all. He's making a hard job of maintaining constant pressure. Now he has Lewis pinned in Lewis's own corner, and Lewis's seconds really screaming there. Let some punches go, and he's responding to that. So there's these broad shoulders of Ali in full flight, and a left hook there that really rocked Lewis just above me. It's about 3 feet away from here. And again the bell then. And it looks as though Ali's having a lot of trouble setting him up for that final payoff punch if it can come over, and it's not so certain that it will, because Lewis still having a go. This is Ali now turning it on in all his glory. He's really looking the part now, but full marks to Lewis. He's punch swapping, but the right hand there on that chin, and the ropes are really holding Lewis up, but he's fighting back again. He's using them as a springboard. What punishment this man's taken, and coming back. This will surprise Ali. He hasn't had an opponent do this, I don't think, since Joe Frazier. And that's the most punches you'll see landed on Ali for a long time. And that real glare there with Ali, it looks as though he's really upset the way this fella's coming back. And what a round that was.
That was one of the best rounds I've ever seen Ali involved in.
And these legs really are unhinging the whole time on Lewis. They're just almost disobedient. And his right eye is swelling Lewis a bit in this round, round 10. And they're yelling in Blue Lewis's corner, try the right. I should think he could try anything that's going. But as he went into that one, Ali timed it pretty well, and that was a hard shot. And that's the first time Lewis has really backed off, and as though it was a sort of token of surrender, but only for a few seconds. And I think that bell must have sounded like an orchestra to Blue Lewis. So round 11, and as Bob was saying, the way that Ali pulled himself together there, he's back up on his toes again. 30 years old now, but what a fantastic athlete he still is. He was out doing some road running only a few hours before the fight. I saw him on the golf course in his tracksuit He was jogging away there. What a fantastic man he is. Suffering a little bit from a head cold, but I think he sweated that out during the fight. But I must say, don't get any ideas that he has carried Lewis at all. He has let the best punches go right from the start. Lewis fighting all the time with his mouth open there, which is a bad thing. If he gets caught there, he could get his jaw broken, I would have thought. But with that huge mouthpiece in, he's got some chance of it bouncing off a bit. And now probably Ali feels that some of that danger must have passed because he's back. What you may call the old Muhammad Ali, sprinkling away there, really giving them the business. And it looks as though Eskin feels that that's enough. He's not going to allow Muhammad Ali to toy with Blue Lewis, but he's had the professional pride of finishing this fight on his feet in the 11th round.
Lewis returned to the ring 6 months after the loss to Ali. He spent another year in the sport before a series of mishaps forced him to retire. In October of 1973, he was indicted on 2 federal firearms violations, getting charged with falsifying a federal form in purchasing a firearm and being a felon in possession of a gun. He then suffered a freak accident when he was helping a priest start his car. The car battery blew up in his face, causing a detached retina in his eye. Lewis then got a job in a hospital laundry. He also worked in the Park and Recreation Department, teaching young people how to box. He suffered from Alzheimer's in his later years, passing away on January 31, 2018, at the age of 75. He remains best known for his fight against Muhammad Ali in 1972. "For a long time I was ashamed of that fight," Lewis said. "People would say to me, 'You did well.' But to me, I didn't. Now I look at it and can relate to it better. I lost, but I didn't look like no punk in losing. I can understand where I came from and how I got to be in a ring with Ali. I appreciate that journey."